Okay, here we go. So, angle one is what? Angle one equals 60 degrees. Angle two is equal to 50 degrees because it's early morning. Thank you. And then angle three is how much? And then angle four.
100.
I think it's 100, correct?
Why you look like a little happy dance after saying that?
All right, here we go. So if triangle CJW is congruent to triangle AGS, the measure of angle A is 50 degrees, and so on and so forth. Measure of angle S. What is the value of X? So S corresponds to what? S corresponds to W. J corresponds to what? All right. So that means this is 45. Do you agree with that? Everybody's good? All right. And so we can say that 16x, well, the sum of these angles equal 180, correct?
Yeah.
So X is equal to how much? All right, here we go. Find all the missing angles. So let's start here with the vertical angles. They're what? 60. Do you agree with that? So that makes this automatically 60, which forces this to be 60, which means this is 120, right? And then angle one is how much? 30. All right, here we go. Now it's saying that AB is equal to BC, so I think we should mark that. So if AB is equal to BC, then
5x plus 5 equals 2x plus 1.
thank you. And then solving that, we end up with
3x equals 15, x equals 5.
yeah, easy as that. All right. Now, for number 12, because those are parallel, angle 2 is automatically what? 70. That means angle 3 is going to be 30. All right. And angle 1 is what? All right. Now this angle up here is going to have to be what? 80. Exactly. All right. And this angle right here is going to have to be
15. 110.
110. Thank you very much. And then this angle right here has to be what? 100. All right. Everybody's good with that? Anybody? Anybody have any questions with that? Nobody? All right, here we go. Number 13 is kind of interesting. All right. If this is 80 right here, then the base angles are how much?
50 and 50.
Do we agree? This is 50 and this is 50. Do we agree with that? Right. Now, again, this is where you have to use the parallels. All right. So what are we thinking as far as this angle up here is going to be?
50.
Right, exactly. That angle has to be 50. All right, which forces angle 1 to be what?
50.
All right, so this is then 80. Yeah, 50, 50, 80. All right, good job if you got that. All right, let's.
Like, I know it is 50, but how did you how did you figure that out?
These are supplementary. That's the first thing I thought about.
All three of them? Or they're all parallel, all the lines are
This right here is parallel to this right here.
yeah.
All right, so if this is 50 right here, this alternate interior angle. That's another way of saying it.
Oh, okay. When you're finding out the first two, like the first triangle, the two broad angles are 50. Did you also consider the triangle or yeah, or equilateral?
They're not equilateral. If they were equilateral, then they would all be 60.
Well, yeah, like, or I mean, two of the sides are equal.
You mean we know that the triangles are congruent now because this is 80 and this is 80, right? Side angle side. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying like this for the first triangle. Cause you know that you have to do, like, you know that you have, it's 80 for the first angle and then you have 100 left to get to 180 for the other two angles.
Yeah, that's how we.
Divided equally.
Yes, that's exactly how we did it. Okay, that's how we did it. Perfect. All right. Well, this, you just have to understand that this right here is 6x plus 4, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right. Because that's an isosceles, the base angles are equal. So it has to be 6x plus 4. All right. And then they have to add up to what? 180. So the 4, the negative 8 cancel. So that's just 30x equals 180, correct? Everybody good with x equals 6? All right. Triangle IB or ABC is isosceles. So let's go ahead and make isosceles. And angle B is the vertex. So that makes this the vertex. All right, then this would be A, this would be C. And we can say that the base angles are equal. All right, the base angles are equal. So I just go ahead and mark this is congruent to this. So it says AB is 6x plus 3. BC is 8x minus 1. And AC is 10x minus 10. So they're just trying to make sure you understand how to label the figure. So now how do I solve this? Thank you very much. Remember, it's there, those aren't the angles, right? Those are not the angles, those are the sides. All right, so the sides are equal, so we just had what? 2x equals, so x equals 2.
It's okay if you get the drawing wrong.
I care about the answer. I know you can't draw very well.
No, burn.
All right, so what's AC? AC equals 10. AB equals what? And BC better be what? Because we said they were equal. All right, anybody have any questions with that? Anybody have any issues? All right, here we go. Let's try to find all these guys. All right, so what is the measure of angle 4? Let's start with that one.
73.
All right. And then angle 5 would have to be what?
73.
And then angle 1.
37.
And then we have angle 6.
30.
Angle 6 is 30. All right, so now I need to calculate what angle 2 is. 42. And then angle 3.
132.
And then this missing one right here.
48.
48. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, here we go. I'm listening.
So do you, this is not like about the problem, it's just like, it says you're only doing the numbered angles, like there are numbered angles, but it says do all the missing ones.
Yeah, yeah, find all the missing angles. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, even if they're not numbered.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, see, they said just name all of them, and instead, I don't know why they left the other ones out. I would have just put, right, I want you to find all the missing angles.
So if we don't all of them, we get points.
For you especially, yes. Yes, of course, if it says find all the missing angles, find all the missing angles. I'll make sure I white out all of the numbers. So on there, I made it big enough so you could just write in the angles. I'd rather you just write them in than right off to the sides. Do you understand that? Right. No, 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 you can't. Shh. All right. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. All right. Now, y is an angle. All right, so E corresponds to what? E corresponds to B. So what is B? So 80 is equal to 6y minus 4. Is everybody good with that? And so y is equal to what?
14.
Now, I know that y is equal to 14, so now I know ED is just 3x minus 14. What does ED correspond to? AB, which is what? 10. So x is obviously now what? 8. Anybody have any issues with that?
Wait, you say
ED, I said ED corresponds to what? ED corresponds to AB. See how I did that?
yeah, but for the first part, then you were figuring out.
80. I looked at the angle 6y minus 4. 6y minus 4 is angle E. So I looked at my corresponding, I said E corresponds to B. That's how you should do it. All right. Don't look at the figure. All right. The figure can deceive you. All right. So here we go. Now, the one triangle on the left is, so this is all just 60. And then the other two angles are what? Those are 45s.
How'd you get 290? I got 90, and 30 and 60.
All right. What?
I don't understand. You could get 45 and 45.
Well, this angle is 90 degrees, correct? This is an isosceles triangle, which means these two angles have to be the same. The angles of a triangle add up to 180. 180 minus 90 is 90. These two angles must add up to 90.
I don't understand how you figure out which one's the base on an isosceles triangle. It's just like the longest side.
The right angle.
Just stop. All right. So this is congruent to this. This is congruent to that, correct? That means these base angles are congruent. The angles are the correspond to the opposite side. Right? This is the hypotenuse. All right. That's the one opposite the 90 degrees. Does that make sense now? All right, here we go. Good. Down here, all the missing angles, all of them. All right, now this angle looks to me like 25 degrees, just to be sure. So what was angle 1, guys?
82.
Angle 1 was 82 degrees. All right. Now, if that's 82, then this angle right here is 82. And what's the supplement of 82? So this guy right here, you could have said was 98, 98. From there, if this angle is 45, right? How do I find angle 2? Does anybody have a problem with that being 37 degrees? And then angle 3 has to be what? Anybody have any issues? Go. It's okay.
Matter if you have to write like m angle 1 equals, or do we just write the angle?
No, I'm totally fine with what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
You with me? That's how I want you to do it. Plus, you know what? It's just easier for me to grade. If you have the angles where they belong, it's easier for me to grade because some of you guys, I can't read your writing very well. All right. So here we go. Number 20, same kind of situation. All right, let's go with angle 2. What's angle 2? All right, I'm happy with that. This right here is 79. All right, so this is 101. Does everybody agree? 101, 79. All right. And then angle 1 is what? 142. And so now this angle right here is how much?
104. Oh, sorry, 33.
Everybody okay with that being 33? Shh. No one cares. This is 33. Angle 3 is what? That one's 147. All right. And so now, what are we looking for?
Nothing. Oh.
Is it possible to figure this out, these other two? Okay, come on.
No, because you don't know.
Can you figure these out?
There's no right angles marked there. Oh, yes, we can. No, we can't. The alternate exterior.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's all we can figure out. Good job, guys. All right, here we go. Let's knock out 21. All righty, so what do we have for angle 1?
72.
Yeah, 72. So that means these are 108, 72, 108, correct?
Yeah.
And then angle 2 is what?
126.
One, 1, 6. Do we agree with that? No, it's 1, 2, 6. Thank you.
The shad, you get 72 for one.
Why did you get 2?
126. Do we agree with that? That's just the sum of those two, right? And then if you want, this angle here is 54. Do we agree with that? Is that right?
Yeah.
And then this guy over here has to be 54. Do we agree with that? And then what's this angle right here? 126. Do we agree with that? Is that everything now?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Say that again. Oh, you're right. You're right. So thank you very much. So that's not 126. Thank you, kiddo. So it's 126 minus 27, right? Thank you. You were right. I was wrong. 99. Good job. Anybody have any questions? Go. Shh. How did I get this 72 right here?
No, it's good.
Well, look, this is an exterior angle. So again, I think that's a good question. Here we go. So this, I need everybody to, if you're having trouble tomorrow, remember that's an exterior angle. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So that means it's 27 plus 45. And that's hard to see. Right? Can you see it now that I pointed out or not? You sure? Because I'll draw it again if you need me to. This right here, this right here, and this right here. If I come over here, and now if I drew this here to here, and I said this is 45 and this is 27, this is 72. The other lines mess it up. I'm agreeing with you. Do you hear me? That's what I'm saying. Whenever you're stuck, look for an exterior angle. These two have to be equal. 72 is equal to 45 plus 27.
Okay.
Right. I'm agreeing with you. It's hard to see, but because especially with all the lines running through it. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, yellow is just not a good number. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's look down. Let's look at these. All right. Now here you have to be careful. Mark RM congruent to RA. And as soon as I mark that, then I can just come over here and mark this what? 38, and then 38 and 38 is 76, so then angle R is, that's how I would recommend doing it. And then it says that AX is congruent to AM, therefore XMA must also be what? 72, and 72 is 144. Subtract that from 180, I get what?
36.
And that's why this guy right here is 36. XF is the same as FM. All right. I'm not sure if there's a way to figure out. Well, there actually is, but we haven't studied heights yet. All right, anybody have any questions?
On the test, but if there, like, if, well, there's the question, like, who's doesn't figure out somewhere in that.
No, I don't think so. I think you'll be able to figure them all out. Anybody have any questions with that? All right. Yeah, those are all of them. All right, so if it's equilateral, then that means all the angles are what? Equal. So we can say 4y minus 4 equals what?
60.
And so 4y equals, well, just tell me y equals what?
16. I did 4.
So now 3x minus 8 has to equal 2x minus 1, right? So x equals how much? 7. Everybody's good with that? Rare. Thank you. All right. Triangle ABC and AFD are vertical, congruent, equilateral triangles. So if they're equilateral, that means all the angles are what? Yeah. So these are 60, 60, 60 degree. So 2y plus 6 equals what? So y had to be what? 27. And then 2x minus 3 equals x plus 4. So x is equal to?
7.
Easy as that. Okay. So can anybody tell me what angle 2 is easily? And angle 3? Now, angle 2 is 49 because why? I don't see a square, but that's beside the point.
A rectangle, same thing.
I don't see a rectangle either. All right. Yeah, definitely the same thing.
They do me what?
No, these 3 triangles or those 3 angles add up to 180. All right.
What 3?
The 3 that are circled. How about that? The 3 that are circled. Okay. Now, angle 3, you could also figure out that angle 3 was 42 plus 89. Is everybody with me on that? 42 plus 89 is that angle. All right, that's the other way to think about it. All right, and that was 100 and what? 131. All right, everybody's good with that? And if this is 113 degrees, then this angle right here is going to be what? 67 degrees, right? And then you can say that angle 1 is the sum of 67 and 42, which is, yes, that's what I said. 109. And then this angle here is how much? 71. I think that takes care of all the angles, correct? What?
How did you get 67?
113 subtracted from 180.
Why would you do that?
Because I want all of the angles.
It's on the other side of the line. It's not like that.
Jocelyn, what? This angle right here is 67 degrees. Do you agree with this or not?
Yeah.
Then angle 1 is the sum of 67 and 42.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand how you got 109 for angle.
Well, angle 1 is an exterior angle. 67 plus 42 is equal to angle 1. Or you could say 67 plus 42 subtracted from 180 is that angle. And then you do 180 minus that to get angle 1. There's lots of different ways to look at it. Anybody have any issues? All right, here we go. Solving for x here, what do we got? 9x plus 4 equals 112. Is that correct?
9x plus 72, I thought. Yeah.
I don't need to know.
9x plus 72 at 9x is equal to 8x.
Wait, how do they get this?
It doesn't, listen, guys, I understand. We've already talked about this. I don't know what everyone is worried about. This, if you do 72, then these three angles add up to 180. Of course. Or you can say this is an exterior and the two remote interior. 112 is equal to 3x plus 4 plus 6x. That's it.
But that's not 70.
Yes.
It's 62.
Okay, whatever, 68. Thank you. 68. All right, here we go. You can say this is 48 and say those three angles add up to 180. Or you come over here and say this is 132 and then 3x plus 3x equals 132. Those are your options. But regardless, x is equal to how much? 22. All right, here we go. LM corresponds to what? LM corresponds to RS, correct? So we can just say 3y plus 1 equals 13. So y is equal to what? 4. All right. We have MN. MN corresponds to what? 4x minus 5 equals 27. So x is equal to. Perfect. All right, down here now, the corresponding angles. What do we got? 15x plus 1 equals what? Exactly. And 5y minus 4 equals. So x is equal to, and y is equal to. Anybody have any problems with that? All right, here we go. Angle 3 is what? Angle 3 is 90 and angle 4 is.
I don't even know.
Did you read the figure? Did you look at it?
But we don't know if like equal, right? Oh, okay.
That's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. All right, here we go. So 5, 6, and 8. Angle 5 is how much? 6 is what? And 8. Perfect.
What about 7? Yeah, it's 5 and 5, 6. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't say 7. Okay, here we go for y equals what? I got a problem with that? Over here. x equals 1. Do we agree? Angle C is congruent to H, right? So do we agree Z was equal to what? And over here, AD, just to be sure, AD is equal to FJ. So what?
2.
You okay with that? All right. All right, here we go. I mean, let's just go down. I mean, this is what you'll be doing tomorrow. All right. So we're on 23. So this angle right here is going to be what? 45, which means this angle right here is what? 90, which means ACB is what? Yeah, 135. All right. I don't think we can figure out the other ones because it doesn't say CB is equal to AC. All right. So here we go. DBC. DBC is how much?
1.
Do we agree that's 20? Because again, this right here is 70, correct? That forces this to be 20, correct? Forces this to be 70, forces this to be 20. Right, they're isosceles triangles, so the base angles are equal. Okay, here we go. Let's look at 25. All right, so angle E is how much?
55.
55. This angle right here is 70. Do we agree with that? That means this is 70. Do we agree? Which means angle A is 55 and 55. All right, here we go. DE. DE is congruent to what? DC. All right. Base angles are congruent. The opposite sides are congruent. All right. DF must be congruent to what? DB, of course. And DG is congruent to what? All right. Here we go. Pretty easy. Okay, just to review the hypotenuse leg. All right, if I'm gonna say 29 is congruent by hypotenuse leg, what has to be congruent?
Another side.
What else has to be congruent? Remember, I'm trying to prove it by hypotenuse leg.
DF is congruent to AC.
Thank you. DF has to be congruent to AC because we already have a leg. Do we agree? And we already have the fact that it's a right triangle. So I have to say the hypotenuse is congruent. All right. So 30, what do I need to say?
Congruent.
Angle what? Nope. What do we need to say? That they're right angles, right? Angle M is a right angle and angle S is a right angle. That's what you need to put for that. Angle M is a right angle and angle S is a right angle. Do we agree? Just because they're congruent doesn't make it a right angle. All right, so what needs to be true for 31? Either what?
LJ or LK.
LJ has to be congruent to what? OM or what?
Or LK.
Yes. There we go. On 32, I just have to say what?
CX is congruent.
Either, no, we already know that. That's the hypotenuse is congruent to itself. So what else?
Either ZY is congruent to
Either ZY is congruent to what?
XW.
XW or
ZW is congruent to XY.
Yeah. That's for the hypotenuse leg. Anybody have any issues with that? So in the right triangle, we can't name it angle side side, remember? So the only time angle side side works is if it's a right triangle. So the only one we talk about is the hypotenuse leg. If the hypotenuse of one triangle is congruent to the, or I'm sorry, if the leg of one triangle is congruent to the leg of another triangle, and the hypotenuse is congruent, and it's a right triangle, then we call it the hypotenuse leg theorem. All right,
So on the proofs, when you put two right triangles together on some questions, would it turn into an isosceles because that's usually the bisect, or would you have to say hypotenuse leg?
well, you can, if you have a hypotenuse and a leg and it's a right triangle, you would say hypotenuse leg. But again, I'd have to look at the proof. They're all a little bit different. All right. Are these two triangles congruent? Yes. All right, it's a what? Hypotenuse leg. Oh, you are right. Thank you. Sorry. She's right. 25 over here is not the hypotenuse. Yeah, that's a sneaky one. All right, thank you. Definitely no. Yes. Can you draw two right triangles that share a common angle that is not a right angle?
Yeah.
All right, draw it then. Draw two right triangles that share a common angle that is not the right angle.
It would have 90 and 45 and another. Here's you just do it like you do Zooming. I did.
I did it.
I did it.
Guys. Common angle means that it's shared. It's shared. Common means that it's shared with both triangles. Can you draw two triangles? All right, draw two right triangles that share a common angle that is not a right angle.
It's telling us two. It's not saying can you.
All right, that's a right triangle. Now I'm going to try to draw another right triangle that has a common angle that's not the right angle. This angle right here is shared. All right. Those are two right triangles that share a common angle. All right. And the common angle is not the right angle. Doesn't say they're congruent. Okay, so if I were you, I would review this information, that's all the algebra, and then if you're feeling confident about that, I would go ahead and start on the proofs. All right, start on the proof. I'll post it, yes.
You famous?